Will it be a DNF? Will it be a 1-star? Will it be a 5-star? I wanted to tell you guys, it's a little boring. So this vlog took a turn that I was not expecting. How do I say this? Hi everyone, my name is Tori, this is Nova Life, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I have a start of a brand new reading vlog for you guys that I'm very excited for. I'm nervous, I'm scared, I'm excited, hopeful. I have a lot of feelings about this book. So in this vlog, I'm going to be reading When the Moon Hatched. This is I want to say like the the hyped book of the year, the hyped fantasy romance of the year. I feel like when this book came out at the beginning of the year, I saw so many people pick it up on TikTok, on BookTube, on Bookstagram, and was like, this is so good, this is amazing, love this book, everyone needs to read it. And to give a little backstory, actually, I did pick up this book back at the beginning of the year. When it came out on Kindle Unlimited, I started reading it. I got like 20% into the book, the ebook, and I was not vibing with it. I DNF'd it. And I talked to a couple other people. They're like, the writing is really different. The way that she tells the story is a little different. It just may be the writing for you that it doesn't vibe with you, and that's okay. And that's okay. So I put it to the side and I said, you know what? When the audiobook comes out later this year, I'm gonna pick up the book. And guess what? The audiobook is out. My library hold finally came in, and I'm going to read this book with you guys this week. I'm gonna give you I always give you my unfiltered thoughts, but I'm really gonna be super honest and everything. Now, I did read another book by Sarah A. Parker back in May, I think it was. I read To Bleed a Crystal Bloom, and it gave me a little bit of more insight to her writing and the way that she progresses and plots and her writing flow of fantasy romance, because in that book I was extremely intrigued, but I had no idea what was happening. Like, we are dropped into this world and things just start happening right from the beginning. Not a lot is explained. You just kind of have to pick up the pieces as you go. And I actually really enjoyed that book. I gave it 4 stars. So that gives me hope now that I've read another book by Sarah A. Parker that I can really enjoy this book and like take my time and savor it, because I'm in a fantasy romance mood. I've been in a fantasy romance mood since May. I'm wearing my Romantasy book club t-shirt from the Bookish box. I really love the pink. I think it's so cute. I'm just in that mood. I just want to read all the fantasy romances. So for this vlog, I'm going to take you along with me. Now, last night I finished a book and I was like, I didn't have any other books to pick up, so I decided to start When the Moon Hatched. So, first initial thoughts. I really remember the first 20% of the book. I do actually remember most of it, and reading this first 10%, so when I say reading, I'm going to listen to the audiobook and physically read along on my Kindle. That's personally how I love to read fantasy romances. I just feel like it's very immersive, and I know it's not for me. I think it's now called like immersive reading, where you are listening and you're physically reading along. I personally love that. It helps me digest a fantasy world better, and all of that stuff. Anyway, I got through 10% last night. And our female character, I like have very brief thoughts. Like, we see that she's just, once again, we're dropped into Sarah A. Parker's world. So I kind of was expecting that because, well, I already read this book, but also that's how her other fantasy romance was. But we're dropped in, we see our female character rave. We see what she's doing. You see that she's like going undercover in this, singing. She's a bar basically, and like singing in this tavern, I guess you can say, to get this guy to like come after her so she can kill him because he's done all these bad things. So she's giving vigilante vibes. I don't know if that's going to continue. Now, she does have like an encounter with this like weird guy that's like watching her sing, but also comes up after she like takes care of the guy. So I'm like, is this the hero? I was assumed, because by 20% I didn't know who the hero was when I read it previously, so I'm assuming that's a hero. She said that he smells differently, he acts differently. I do really think that now that I'm reading it, and it could be because now I'm in a romantasy mood, but I really like the introduction, because the prologue was like how everything was created, how you have the different gods that are worshipped and stuff like that, and what the colors mean, and their ears are clipped. So she's technically a null, but she does have some powers, which I find is very interesting, and I wonder if that's going to be explained, because it's explained that if you have like a clip in your ear, the top part of your ear cut off, you're null. You don't have any magic. But she can slip off her iron ring, because iron will like dull any magical abilities, and like one of the gods like comes in and helps her, so like she has a connection to that. So it's very interesting. And this hero, he doesn't have like a bead in his ear to represent which god color he has, but he has a black like hoop. That's what I see, and I'm like, is he a dragon? Is he the dragon? Now, do I understand this whole the dragons go up into the sky like a moon? No. I don't know. I still don't understand why they're there. Obviously, it's to protect themselves, but it's been like thousands of years, I think, like 5 million phases, moon phases, since that's happened. I think, if I'm not mistaken, the creation of this world. I don't know. I have a lot of thoughts. Like I said, it's going to be very, very, very candid. So I have to go get my nails done. My nails are just atrocious today. I have to get them done before I go out of town, so we're going to have that change in the next clip, but I literally plan to get back and read that book. I want to get through a decent amount this weekend. It's Saturday, so on Saturday and Sundays I really get a lot of my reading done. So yeah, I'm gonna go do that. I'll take you along with me. I'll show you what color I get, but I am actually very excited to sit down and read this book tonight because I want to love it like everyone else does. I want to love it like everyone else does. So with all that being said, come along with me while I read When the Moon Hatched. Will it be a DNF? Will it be a 1-star? Will it be a 5-star? I don't know, but we shall see. So I actually got to 20% into When the Moon Hatched, okay? The water's running for my shower because I'm about to take a shower. But I wanted to tell you guys, it's a little boring. I mean, like, okay, don't get me wrong. She literally just lost her best friend in, like, the most horrific way that actually had me tearing up just a little bit. Like, it was just a little bit, okay? Like, it's just a little bit. But, oh my God, I don't know where this is going. Like, we just got to chapter, like, 20% into the book. And I got to a chapter, it's called The Other. That's the point of view. I'm like, how many points of view are there? Like, we get to Khan. We see that he's dealing with his niece and how she's fallen in love to this person talking in her head. Say hi to Mimi. Mama. Say hi to the people. Yeah. Because I'm talking, she's going to talk. That's how it goes in my household, okay? But it was one of those things where I'm like, she's fallen in love with this person inside her head, and he just lets her walk away. I'm like, is Khan our hero? Like, how many points of view are we going to get? Right? How many points of view we're gonna get, Mimi? I don't know either. Oh my gosh. I know. What's happening in this book? But yeah, I had a really productive content day and work day. It is Sunday, but I did work like for 4 hours today because I had to get some stuff done before a book bonanza, which I'm hoping to finish this book before then. So Monday, Tuesday night, I don't have to do anything after I work a decent time. So it's going to be sit down and run through and finish this book because I do want to finish this vlog before I leave. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Obviously, if you see this on the same day that it's supposed to go up, then yes, I did finish it, and that's fantastic. I know, Mama. So I'm gonna take a hot shower, relax, and then I'm gonna sit down in this bed and read this book with this kitty. Yes, Mommy. Like I said, when I talk, she talks. Always. Doesn't matter what I'm doing. I could be FaceTiming someone for a meeting. She's gonna be yelling at me. Anyway, okay, that's just quick updates. I'll talk to you tomorrow when I have... Hopefully I want to get through 50% of this book. We'll see if I do that or not. So this vlog took a turn that I was not expecting, okay? I wasn't expecting to be absolutely obsessed with this book. So like I said at the beginning, okay? Like I said at the beginning of this vlog, I did DNF this book when I physically tried to read it back when it came out in February, March maybe, and I just wasn't vibing with the writing. And I'll tell you, I realized the last clip when I updated where I was at 20%, that was the exact same chapter where I stopped, and I was like, I'm kind of confused. I don't really know what's happening. Like, where's this going, right? I was like, I don't understand all this stuff. That was the legitimately exact same chapter that I DNF'd previously months ago. And literally right after that chapter, shit got so real. Literally from that chapter forward, so much happens. Like, legitimately so much happens that I read like 30% of the book. I stayed up till 2 in the morning, even though I had to get up very early today for work. I did not get up as early as I needed to because I just needed to sleep. But like, I just wasn't expecting to fall in love with the way that things just literally start rolling and start popping off, and things that just start happening like what kind of power she really has, the humor that she has, the banter between her and Khan, and you figure out who he is, and just all of these things. And I will say, I have my theories. I have my theories on this book. I'm keeping this spoiler free, but from now, like from 20% on, I don't want to talk about anything that happens in this book. I'll be very vague, but I do like how she is one of those characters that it's like, I love her, but there's a part of me that dislikes her. I think that the female character is supposed to be that way. I think that Rave is supposed to be one of those characters that you kind of just like, you're fucking annoying. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're annoying, but like, you're a badass. And that you have been through it, and we get little glimpses of when she talks about like her past throughout the first 50% of the book. And so I'm interested to see how much we find out in the book. I know that there's like, obviously with every ending of a fantasy, there's like a cliffhanger and things come out. So I'm wondering if like my predictions were right. And I did tell Jess, because she's already read this book, I told Jess today, I was like, this is my prediction. She's like, I can't tell you anything. I was like, I know you can't tell me anything, but I am obsessed with this book, and that's all I want to do is keep reading, but like I had to go to sleep. So it's one of those things. I really like our hero. I like the way he treats our female character. There's a moment there that I thought, you know, spicy scene was gonna happen, you know what I mean? And I thought he was just gonna be like, fuck it, like this is how it's going. He was not like that. The way that he handled that, I was like, wow, okay, you are a different type of hero, and I really like that. Not in like a negative way or anything like that. Like, any way he could have handled it would have been like perfect, but I'm like, oh, we're going down like this kind of like, more, not morally, but like I'm doing the right thing right here, and it's not it's not like a good thing for me. Like, I'm gonna suffer, right? That's how he was feeling. So I don't know, I really like the dynamics between, I'm assuming it's our hero, like I'm assuming it's him, and I really, my hair, I don't know what it's doing today, I don't know. But I really like the dynamic between him. I really like the dynamic between our female character. And I'm hoping to read another 20 or 30% tonight, and then tomorrow finish another 20 or 30% and be done with the book. But once again, like once things starts going, I don't know how everything's gonna turn out, you know what I mean? But it was a very, very, it took me off guard. It took me so off guard that like I pre-ordered a special edition of this book already from Fairy Loot. Was it Fairy Loot? I also bought a paperback that's coming tomorrow of this book because I wanted the normal copy. I'm really liking it, and it's been a while since I've sat with a fantasy world where I'm very invested. I don't know if it's gonna be a 5-star read. It's giving 5-star vibes, but compared to, I felt the same way. Okay, I didn't feel the same way. Like, if I'm here, when I read To Bleed a Crystal Bloom by Sarah A. Parker, which is another fantasy romance series of hers, I was like this interested, right? But like, I'm obsessed right here. So like, that book was still very, very like, I wanted to keep going. I was very interested. It was a solid read, but like this one's giving 5-star vibes. I hope it stays that way. So I don't know what's gonna happen. She kind of escaped and did like a escape thing for a second. So I don't know where it's gonna go. I don't know when the hero's gonna find her. I literally thought I was gonna hate this book. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I went in thinking, hoping I was gonna like it, but honestly thinking I'm still gonna DNF and I'm still gonna hate it. When I DNF a book, especially because like the writing, I usually do not vibe with it. And I'm like, am I gonna be that girly now that vibes with it? Anyway, it is almost 8 o'clock at night. I am going to be completely done with work now. I'm gonna go have some dinner, and I'm going to take a shower, and I'm gonna go sit my ass down and read this book. Hello, I'm here to update you on this thick book, okay? I did get the paperback yesterday. Smells very good. And I'm here to give you my final thoughts because I did finish this book last night at like 12:30 at night, even though I leave for Book Bonanza today. Yeah, I did not get very much sleep. Oh my god, the back is so pretty too. Okay, this book. How do I say this? What is my rating for this book? I guess we'll start there. 5 stars. And the only reason why is because I guessed a lot of things about this book, but I did not guess the ending of this book, which I'm not going to spoil at all. So it's going to be hard to talk about my feelings with this book without spoiling anything, because I really want to dive into everything, but I can't, you know what I mean? I did not see the ending coming. And I will say that I have an appreciation for the way that Sarah A. Parker writes and the way that she writes a fantasy romance. She writes the flow of the story very differently than really a lot of other fantasy romance authors. It's usually like you have a certain start and you're going to introduce the characters and you're going to do this and you're going to do that, right? You have to like slowly ease people in. With her stuff, and I've noticed it now that I read 2 first books in a series, that you're really dropped into this world. You are dropped into this world, and she says, good luck understanding everything, following what's going on, following the characters, picking up pieces, all of that. So I can understand why at first I DNF'd it at 20%, because it was a lot to handle the first 20%, because you're trying to figure out what she's doing. You're trying to figure out the world. You're trying to figure out all these little pieces of the world. You're trying to figure out like the map, like there's a map in here of like what all of this is, and just there's a glossary the first like 2% of the Kindle book. So it's a lot, and I understand why I DNF'd it, but I will say now, reading it again, my feelings are very different, and I have a very like big appreciation for this book. I don't know how else to say that other than like I really, really, really enjoyed it. I love how the romance is slow burn, but it's in a way that doesn't, I will say, okay, if you're a romance reader, I don't know if you're gonna like absolutely and be in love with this. I do have an appreciation for slow burn fantasy romances, because I just feel like it just drags you along. You're like, it's dragging you through the mud, right? And you want to, you like live and die for like the little touches and the little words and this and that, you know what I mean? And at the end of this book, it's like it ends in a way that I wasn't expecting, but it's a true blend. I would say this leans more towards like fantasy than romance, but it's a good mix. It's like a 60-40, 65-35, like that's a good mix of it. I feel like my words are not like making sense. But overall, I'm very happy. Like, all these people are like, oh my god, is this the next Fourth Wing? Is this the next, you know, Sarah J. Maas book? Like, is she gonna be like that? I think that I hate comparing it because every author is different, because every author writes differently. Do you know what I mean? But I have an appreciation for all of those series, right? I loved Fourth Wing, I love ACOTAR, I love Throne of Glass, I love this series. There's a lot of other fantasy romance series that I also love that I think is great, and I think a lot of people should read. But I will continue with the next book in 2025 whenever it comes out. I can't believe I have to wait that long. Anyway, I just really enjoyed this. I could be very nitpicky with certain things and probably drop my rating down to like a 4.5 star technically, like if I'm being like very nitpicky. But I am someone who I do rate books based on the vibe. Like, it's a good like blend of like being critical and being vibes if the vibes are vibing, you know what I mean? And for me, the vibes were vibing with this book. I was thoroughly obsessed. There were slow parts, which is why I'm like, if I'm being nitpicky, I probably could lower it to a 4.5. But like overall, it's a 5-star read for me. I want to reread this before the end of the year, because I think I would have a different appreciation for the characters and what she's going through, because I do feel like she can be very annoying to some people, but to me, I understood like where things were coming from. And I think if I reread it too, I would have a deeper appreciation for the things that she's doing, and like a deeper understanding of her character, because that first 20% you really get an insight to her, all the facets of her. I would say the first like 30% actually. So yeah, that's all my thoughts. I probably will have more cohesive thoughts at my wrap up or whatever, but I love this and I'm very excited that I read it. So anyway, so that is all I have for this vlog. If you've made it this far, leave me a white heart emoji, leave me like a moon emoji. Oh, what other emoji? Like, leave me like a white emoji. White for moonbeam. Love it so much. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe for more content for me. As always, I hope you're living a novel life, and I will see you in my next one. Bye, guys.